We never even think how far our products have traveled to reach our homes. The overproduction also results in a high amount of energy wasted in the process and transportation. All this wasted energy is adding up to growing amount of greenhouse gases that are responsible for global warming. Not only are our material goods mass-produced and transported, our food products are as well. The food industry is responsible for 1/3 of the greenhouse gases attributed to packaging and transportation that goes hand in hand with our industrialized farming. So with carbon dioxide in our atmosphere at 430 parts per million and growing, what does it take for us to realize that we are walking down the wrong path? Global warming has been known as a fact since 1965, when Charles Keeling invented a method to measure the amount of carbon dioxide absorbed by the ocean and plants. He determined that alarming numbers of carbon dioxide were present in the atmosphere.
What are you doing to our earth, the earth that's our responsibility, the earth that caused our death and birth, our home of ground and sky and sea? Why don't you stop, although you know the problem isn't gonna go, as though it were not real and sane? This is not a child's game. Why don't you try to stop it now? You have a way and you know how, but you act as though our resources aren't expiring, while the planet's slowly dying. Where lies your love, your truth and honor? Is for you our earth just a hopeless goner? Well, with 36,000 species extinct each year, it's time that we see that the danger is sheer. Those useless people mutter and sputter and have no reason to go on, while we hang on their every utter. Are we really going to do this till all hope is gone? I guess that this is all for nothing. You like your money better, don't you? Rather forsake than go do something. Amazing that you feel no rue.
But I do, and I believe there are others who do too. Come on, if you are one of those. We'll fight back while our hope grows. How long it'll take for others to catch up, who knows? It depends on you.
In 1979, the Academy of Science Archives documented the consensus that global warming would occur by stating the following. A plethora of studies from diverse sources indicates a consensus that climate change will result from man's combustion of fossil fuels and changes in land use.
However, since then there has been a propaganda that denies the fact of global warming by questioning the consensus of scientists about this theory. Somehow, there are people that feel threatened by the fact that we can no longer afford this rhythm of mass production. It is as if we were all walking around this world with our eyes closed, not caring about which way we are going or who else we bump into. The inertia of this promise of perpetual growth keeps us moving towards our doom. Scientists are constantly making projections about the repercussions of the warming of our planet. With irrefutable facts, they know that some of the definite changes include increased precipitation and storms in the northern hemisphere, increased drought in the lower hemisphere, the rise of sea levels flooding cities like Tokyo, New York, Bombay, Amsterdam, and the list continues. The number of refugees due to environmental catastrophes will rise each decade, forcing millions of people out of their home countries and into refugee camps in a foreign land.
If our bodies are a mirror of our environment, then what we do to our environment, we are doing to ourselves. We are changing our planet each time we create a new synthetic material that did not exist in the past. Studies indicate that plastic is already part of our system and is a direct cause of all our modern sicknesses, including cancer, diabetes, and other chronic diseases. Some studies say that the sand on our beaches contain 3% plastic. How will these new materials interact with our already suffering ecosystem? Knowledge is power. If we know that we are one with the environment, then we should act accordingly. Our planet is giving us clear signs about our excess abuse to its natural resources. By now it should be evident that our resources are limited. Every action counts, and change starts with each individual and his or her efforts. The Gaia hypothesis tells us our planet is one living organism.
It is about voluntary simplicity. Knowing when you have had enough is not about renunciation of wealth or social engagement. It's about focus.
We may not be merchandise designers, but we are designer consumers. We can vote with our choices of consumption and be aware about where our products come from. We can vote with our fork and eat from local food growers and stop supporting monocultures and subsidized farming. We can choose to treat our bodies with the energizing movement of riding a bicycle every time we get the opportunity. We can change our light bulbs and unplug electronics not being used. We can choose to recycle and make sure to reduce the waste we take to the landfill. We can build a compost in our backyards and grow crops like tomatoes. Each action counts. It all starts with your perception of the world. You have the chance to stop being afraid and begin to gear yourself with information to stop being part of the herd of consumers.
To build a future, we need a generation of everyday heroes.
La 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 la.